This incident took place shortly after Dylan, not his real name, used for privacy, graduated high school when he was around 19 years old. At the time, he had just moved into his own apartment and was living alone for the first time. He didn't have many belongings, just a TV, a chair, and an inflatable mattress. He had been there for about a month, and everything had been normal until one night. Dylan was sitting in his living room watching TV when he heard the sound of keys being inserted into his front door. He didn't move. Both locks were already secured, and no one was expected. Then he saw it. The handle shifted slightly, then stopped, and then slowly, it started to turn. One lock clicked, then the second. Something wasn't right. Before Dylan could even stand, the door opened. An older man stepped inside, carrying bags of clothes and boxes, like he belonged there. They locked eyes. For a few seconds, neither of them moved. Then the man started shouting, loud, aggressive, in a language Dylan didn't understand. Before Dylan could react, the man rushed forward. The first hit came out of nowhere. Then another, and another. No time to think, no time to understand. Dylan was grabbed, forcefully, and dragged across the room toward the door. His back hit the wall, then the floor. Everything happening too fast to process. Then, an arm wrapped tightly around Dylan's neck. Not loose, not hesitant. Tight, immediate pressure. His airway compressed, and his breath caught halfway in. He tried to inhale again, but it didn't come properly. Just short, shallow, broken breaths. The grip tightened, pulling him closer, forcing his head back. His hands came up, trying to pry the arm away, but it didn't move. It didn't budge. The room started to feel smaller and quieter. His hearing dulled slightly, like everything was being pulled away from him. His chest tightened, that sharp, rising panic, as his body started realizing there wasn't enough air. He tried again to breathe, and again. Nothing. Just pressure. Just that arm, locked around his throat. And for a moment, a very real moment, he thought, this might be it. And then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. The pressure released, air rushed back in. The man was pulled away. An upstairs neighbor, hearing the noise, had run down and intervened. Within minutes, the police arrived, and that's when everything was finally explained. Due to a serious mistake made by the leasing office, the man had been given a key to Dylan's apartment. He had been told the unit was his. He had already paid for it, but had only seen photos of an empty apartment beforehand. So when he entered and saw someone inside, with almost no furniture, he assumed the unit was being occupied illegally. In reality, he had been assigned the apartment next door. The wrong key had been given to the wrong person for the wrong unit. Following the incident, charges were filed against the man, and legal action was taken against the apartment complex. As a result, Dylan was allowed to remain in the apartment for a year, without paying rent. On paper, everything had been resolved, but after that night, every small noise meant something. Footsteps in the hallway, keys outside the door, even the slightest movement of the handle was enough to make him stop and listen, because now he knew. Sometimes, the person opening your door already has the key. Even the slightest movement of the handle was enough to make him stop and listen, because now he knew. Sometimes, the person opening your door already has the key. This incident took place around 2008, during the school year. At the time, Ryan, not his real name, used for privacy, was in 7th grade. His family had recently moved to a newly built housing complex in Decatur, Indiana. It was his mother and his 4 siblings, all living together in the house. One day during the week, Ryan became sick at school and had to be picked up early. He spent the afternoon at home, resting in his room, while his mother cleaned around the house. Later on, she needed to leave to pick up his youngest brother from preschool. She asked if he wanted to come with her. Ryan declined, not feeling well enough to leave. She left shortly after, and just like that, he was alone in the house. At the time, Ryan enjoyed writing short stories, so he stayed in his room, laying in bed, writing, with the TV playing quietly in the background. About 30 minutes passed. That's when he heard it. A sound, coming from his brother's room next door. A slow, repetitive, squeaking noise. At first he ignored it, but then it happened again. And this time, it was clearer. It sounded like someone bouncing on a bed. That didn't make sense. His brothers weren't home. And they shared a bunk bed, not one that would move like that. Ryan slowly got up and walked down the hallway. The door to their room was already open. He looked inside. Nothing. No movement. No one there. The room was completely empty. He stood there for a moment, then turned around and went back to his room. He laid back down, trying to ignore it. About 10 minutes passed. Then, a loud slam. This time, from the kitchen. Ryan immediately got up and rushed out of his room. He stepped into the kitchen and stopped. In the center of the floor was a single bag of Doritos, perfectly placed. No explanation, no reason for it to be there. And that's when he felt it. That sudden, unexplainable feeling. Like something wasn't right. Like he wasn't alone anymore. He didn't stay. Ryan walked straight out of the house. Even outside, the feeling didn't go away. He crossed the street and sat on the curb, waiting. He stayed there until his siblings got off the school bus. Only then did he feel okay going back inside. But that wasn't the only thing that happened in that house. On another night, Ryan, his mother, and his brother were sitting together watching TV. Without warning, the volume slowly dropped, all the way to 0. No one had touched the remote. No one had moved. And then it just stopped. Another time. Ryan woke up in the middle of the night. He got up to use the bathroom. And when he returned to the room he shared with his brother, he saw something. At the foot of the bed, a small figure, still, silent, just standing there. He froze, then quickly jumped onto his brother's bed, reaching for him. And as soon as he did, the figure disappeared, like it had never been there at all. After that, the nightmares started. Frequent, vivid, unexplainable. Looking back, some of it could be explained as imagination. At least, that's what he tells himself. But even now, those moments still don't feel right. And whatever was in that house, it was there before they ever moved in.